Johnny, good morning and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It's the 1st of January 2022. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning and we're in Richmond Park, as is our want. And we're just going to talk about what the year ahead is going to be like for cycling and other bits and pieces you're going to get involved in.
Hopefully we can do it.
Before we go there, the last time we got together and filmed, I think, was June last year. So how were your last 6 months?
Survival. That's basically it. I've been backwards and forwards to the hospital. They've tweeted about with my medication and they've tweeted about with my brain.
What do you mean?
Well, tested me out, make sure it's working properly and so on and so forth. Just one of these things. It's a normal checkup that I've been to have a for God's sake.
Gastro?
Yeah, that fella.
Gastro what? They were checking out what was...
Well, I've had a camera shoved down my throat to see.
Because you were having problems with swallowing?
Swallowing, reflux, all Parkinson's related.
Okay.
That's what they want to keep on checking to make sure it is. There was a little bit of a cancer scare there at one time because they took some polyps from my throat. They weren't happy with. So basically they took them out and contacted me and said, we called them young. They could have gone nasty, but we were lucky and they've managed to catch them before they did go wonky. So apart from that, just basically struggling with life.
So you had a meeting with Francesca back in November, who's your Parkinson's specialist, and she changed your medication.
Well, she didn't change it. Basically, what I just basically said to her is that I'm not happy with the amount of medication I'm taking. So I'm taking on average about 20 pills a day. Between her and my pain doctor because of my back. I wasn't happy because I all of a sudden started developing this weight gain that's really annoying me. I'm 15 stone. I've never been that in my life before. So she was under the impression that it would be one of the medication I'm taking. So we're off of that, and since I've come off of that, I've suffered a little bit, but I'm going to persevere with it. See how it goes.
From the point of view of suffering, what has gone downhill in the sense of medication being?
My stamina.
Okay.
The pain in my legs. Me, basically, I've got no enthusiasm to really get out there and do something because everything's a struggle at the moment. My tremors come back. Not bad, but enough for me to notice that it's, sometimes I'm there and especially when I'm on the phone trying to text or something. Nothing worse than trying to text if you've got the shakes. You send it to the wrong people.
That could be embarrassing. So what about the stammer? When you saw Francesca, did she try to alter your I call it medication, but your DBS tuning to allow for the stammer to be?
Well, no. What happens when I go and see Francesca? Bless her heart. I go there and there's students in there as well. So she basically, as I walk in there, she basically said to them, this gentleman's got Parkinson's. Before I tell you how long he's had Parkinson's, he's going to let you know what he's done over the last 10 years. And so I had to explain to all these 10 students what I've been up to over the last 10 years. All my cycling and jumping out of airplane and Kilimanjaro and so on and so forth. And they were quite impressed. And then at the end she says, now one thing you've got to remember, this gentleman is 64 and he's had Parkinson's for 17 years. They all sort of looked up as if they were gobsmacked. And then so she said, this gentleman suffers with dyslexia or something, I can't pronounce the bloody word, on the right hand side. So what we're going to do, and she brought this machine in that goes over there onto my battery pack, and I said to her, you're going to turn it off, aren't you? She said, yep.
So what she's turning off is the DBS controller, which helps you to be able to function. Without the DBS controller working, you can't do nothing.
Well, basically, just to show the students, again, she turned it off. And within 10 seconds of me turning off, you feel it being turned off in your brain. Then all of a sudden my hands started going like this. And I'm like this, and I couldn't bloody move. She said to me, can you stand up? I said, no, I can't even feel my legs. And then she turned it back on again. And then she looked at her students and said, DBS, you know. But one good thing she did say that made me sort of pick up a little bit, she said to me, right at the very end, I don't know whether or not it was for my benefit or for the students' benefit, she said to me, she said, after someone having Parkinson's for so long, she said, you really shouldn't be here. It's because you're so fit and positive. She said, you're still here with us. She said, believe it or not, you should be in a wheelchair in a home by now. And it's because you were positive and fit. She said, you're still beating it. So,
and you're a fighter.
You know, whether or not that was for my benefit or just...
It's a fact of the matter, John.
But it helped. It helped because I walked out there thinking, my God, you know, great. So, but since then it's been a bloody struggle. So I don't know if she normally tells me when she does something to my DBS, but she didn't say anything this time. Just try and reduce the pills.
Okay, so we are where we are at the end of 1 year, which wasn't a particularly good year, and starting a new year with hopefully some enthusiasm to be able to go out and do things that we weren't able to do last year. There's the new connection that we're building up, or you're building up with Stamma charity, stamma.org, and working with George, and we're going to shortly have a conversation with him online about doing the London Night Rider, which takes place on the 2nd and 3rd of June.
Yeah, well, when we first called hold of George from Stamma, he wanted to find out a little bit more about our cycling and where we go and what we do and how we do it. And I think both of us just were online with him on Zoom, and we basically said to him that we both do it, the London Night Rider. And he was sort of, oh, that sounds pretty damn good. So what he wants us to do, he wants us to do the bike ride, but he wants to see if we can get a sort of a team up. So anybody, don't have to have Stamma, but you know, we want to get a team together of all different types of our riders. Don't have to be an experienced rider, because what we'll do is that's in June, the first weekend in June. So between now and June, we can take people around Richmond Park where we are now, and if Mark quickly shows you Richmond Park, it's clear, it's beautiful. You know, you've got dirt track and you've got normal road. It's not a race. We can enjoy this. We can enjoy it here. You know, this is on a great day. It's a good day for getting out. So practice-wise, we can come into the park and do a bit of practicing, because the night ride is not a race. It's a night ride. Starts at 11:30 or 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and then for as long as it takes. You know, we start at one point. I know it sounds bad, but it's a 100k ride, and a 100k ride is only 60 miles. You know, but if you're not in a rush, 60 miles goes very, very quickly, really. So what we're doing is we're looking for all sorts of riders. You know, it's a great night, great way of getting to know people, good fun, and you'll be earning money for Stamma charity.
You could also, if you want to, do, I think it's a 50k ride as opposed to the 100k ride.
Oh yeah.
So it's a smaller loop around London.
Yeah.
The idea is that you start in Queen Elizabeth Park, East London, and you cycle anti-clockwise going up to Alexandra Palace.
That's it.
Then down the west side, ending up to Regent's Park, then down into the West End, then across, and on the 100k you go down to Crystal Palace, then back up again to Queen Elizabeth Park. And the shorter version is you don't go down to Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
So you've got two options there.
Yeah.
But the fun will be getting a group of people together of all shapes and sizes and experiences and ages who want to just go out and see London in the middle of the night, in the middle of the year.
And wear the Stamma colours.
Yeah.
So people will start recognising the Stamma charity.
Yeah.
Because awareness, not a lot of people are aware of people that stammer. They find it quite funny, and you look at people and they sort of look at you very strange because you're trying your hardest to get something out what you're trying to say, and you can't say it, and you're stammering for so long you forget what you're bloody saying half the time. And then you just go, oh sod it, you know what I mean.
Exactly.
I'm fairly young to stammering, but some poor people have lived it all their life. For the amount of stammering I do, I still find it very, very frustrating when it happens. But and my stammering is down to Parkinson's. So you can't have one without the other, I think. Especially for me, anyway.
So you've been stammering for about 18 months? A year to 18 months?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we thought, well, because we're doing a lot for charity, why not let's get stammering on the board. Let's, people make people more aware, because that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Excellent. So that's going to be something to aim for, with some help from George and others within the marketing team at Stamma and Parkinsons, to bring this thing alive and make it happen. We're certainly up for it. So moving on to September, besides cycling, you're going to be hopefully doing an interesting swim.
Well, hopefully. It's been cancelled twice now for Parkinson's, the DBS surgery. It's an Italian charity, but obviously they do it in this country as well, because I wouldn't be here talking about it otherwise. It's a small charity that need help. What they plan on doing is that in September we're doing a 3-kilometre open water swim in the Bay of Sicily. I don't know what it's called, but it's from the mainland to the island of Sicily.
Yeah.
It's a 3-kilometre swim. You can either do the whole 3 kilometres yourself, or you can do it as a relay. And being me, I want to do the whole bloody thing, And I'll tell you what, it's not easy doing a 3-kilometre swim. I've been doing some practice. Anyway, yeah.
Then we had been talking over the last couple of months about doing a cycle ride in northern Thailand in November, which would start in Chiang Mai and go up into the Golden Triangle of Thailand on a sort of again, probably an 800-mile circuit, a round circuit going clockwise up to where Thailand joins up with Laos, China and Myanmar.
That's it.
At the top of the Golden Triangle, then coming back down to Chiang Rai, then back to Chiang Mai.
But the main thing we're looking for are sponsors.
Yeah.
The charities have really suffered over this last couple of years. Any charity has suffered over the last couple of years. So people have got money in their pockets at the moment because they haven't been sort of going to work by train. They've been saving their money. So this year, let people dip their fingers in their pockets just a little bit more. It doesn't matter how much. We'll get a Just Giving page set up. Let's make it right for the charities.
Great. John, that's fantastic, mate. Thank you so much. We're going to get back on our bikes now and finish the second part of this cycle ride, and we'll catch up with you very soon.
Go for it.